Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special Fight and Focus one-on-one with Sami Callihan. I'm Josh Shernoff, and I am just moments away from speaking with Impact Wrestling star and the #1 contender for Kenny Omega's Impact World Championship, Sami Callihan. That match, of course, will be taking place on July 17th at the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary event right here on FITE. At this time, I would like to welcome my guest, Mr. Sami Callihan. Sami, thank you so much for being here.
Very confused right now. Did you just call me Sandy? It sounds like the first time you said my name, it was Sandy. The second time, it was Sammy. So is it Sandy or Sammy?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's Sammy. You would definitely know that. We'll have to.
I should know, but I think you said Sandy. So right now, starting off the interview hot. You might have already messed it up. So what do you want to talk?
It was Sammy, but
what do you want to talk about? You know what? You're lucky I like FITE TV and I actually watch things on it, or else I'd be off this interview. So
I have to tell you, even though this is over the internet, I am still terrified of you.
You should be. You have beautiful blue eyes, though.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for noticing. Man, what a journey it has been for you to get to this point.
What a journey.
Most recently, we just watched you get arrested, framed for a crime you did not commit, and then, of course, released in time to sign on the dotted line a contract between you.
Time. It ain't the first time. No, I didn't do it. I didn't do anything this time.
I was going to say, that's what I loved about it. As you're being arrested, you're saying, I didn't do anything this time. I mean, that's honesty coming out right there.
I'm an honest guy. I tell it how it is. If I would have did something, you know what? I would take me. I didn't do anything this time.
Well, and obviously we figured that out when we saw some hidden camera footage of Don Callis just trying to pull the wool on everybody over everybody's eyes. But hey, you signed the contract, and as an exclamation point, you put Kenny Omega right through the table there in the ring. Where are you mentally and emotionally going into this match? Because this is more than just a match for you. Obviously the championship, but all the junk they've been putting you through. How are you feeling going into this?
Mentally and emotionally, I feel great. What do you expect? I'm about to main event Slammiversary for a first show in front of fans in over a year, and I'm about to get the Impact Wrestling World Championship back and kick Kenny Omega's ass out that door. You know what? There's that forbidden door. I'm about to put Kenny Omega through it.
So I'm glad you mentioned this is the first show in well over a year to have fans in attendance, and what better show than Slammiversary? Now, you've been like everybody else, you've been competing in front of really nobody. Is this going to be somewhat distracting to you to have the fans back, or are you just ready to feed off of that energy?
Oh, I love it. I can't wait. Like, I think the wrestling fans are just as big a part of the show as the wrestlers in the ring and the people behind the stage. Like, it's the #1 thing that professional wrestling is missing right now. And it's awesome that every promotion in the world is finally getting fans back because they make it all mean that much more.
Absolutely. I want to talk for a minute about, you said you're going to send Kenny Omega through the forbidden door. And I don't think you mean open the door and send him out. I think you mean right through that closed door. Kenny Omega, of course, with Don Callis here, that has to feel like a betrayal. Don Callis, obviously, we know at this point he's been fired, but he was such an instrumental part in Impact Wrestling. And then to just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go with that guy.
Was he, though? I don't feel betrayed because I've been trying to tell people for years this is exactly who Don Callis was. Like, everyone wanted to tell me I was the bad guy when I attacked Don Callis in Canada. Everyone was telling me I'm the bad guy when Don Callis has tried to legitimately fire me and get me kicked out of Impact Wrestling for the last 3 years. Like, I've been trying to tell everyone forever that Don Callis only cares about Don Callis. It wasn't about the company. It was about trying to make himself look good. Hell, I don't even think he cares about Kenny Omega. He cares about getting that precious TV time.
Kenny Omega kind of just his meal ticket here. So you're not feeling betrayal at all. You're feeling vindication here.
I feel great. And I pray Don Callis tries to get involved in our match at Slammiversary because I will break every single one of his fingers and make him watch as I beat Kenny Omega half to death.
So let's talk a little bit about Kenny Omega. He, of course, not just the Impact champion, he's the AEW World Champion. He has he's carrying on the TNA title as well. He has numerous championships, and more so than that, I mean, he has been touted by many people as the greatest wrestler in the world today. What does it mean to you? Yeah, I can tell that's not really bothering you that much. So I'm not even going to ask, are there nerves going into it to face him? The nerves, I would assume, are on his side. But what does it mean to you to be able to, in your home turf, beat Kenny Omega in front of the world?
Everyone wants to call him the best bout machine. It's more like best bitch machine. Like, I am the death machine. He's never been in the ring with someone like me. The best matches of all time, according to who? I'll possibly buy a star rating that loves anything that Kenny Omega does. Like, I don't give a damn about star ratings. We talk about best bout machine. I ain't no slouch. I've had match of the year for Impact Wrestling 2 out of the last 3 years, and I've killed it all over the world for every promotion I've ever worked for. So the thought of nerves being in there with, oh my gosh, a god of professional wrestling, Kenny Omega, been there, done that, beat that.
Now let's talk about who Kenny Omega comes with. We talked about Don Callis, but you have the Good Brothers as well, and who knows who else he has waiting in the wings. Is that something? Do you feel like you have to go into the ring here? Can you afford to put those blinders on that you need to have to focus on Kenny Omega, or do you need to have eyes in the back of your head? Do you have anybody maybe watching your back?
The more people, the merrier. I don't give a damn what the entire AEW roster gives a fuck. I don't care if Tony Khan himself rides a magic carpet out to the ring and tries to keep me from beating Kenny Omega. That's not going to happen. Kenny Omega likes to take people in deep water. He likes to draw these matches out 40, 50 minutes. Well, I ain't other people. You're not going to hold me in a headlock for 30 minutes and call it the best match ever. As soon as that bell rings, there ain't going to be no feeling out process. I'm coming right for Kenny Omega. So, Kenny, if you watch this, know that right as that bell rings, I am coming at you with everything I got.
And you don't feel uncomfortable at all letting him know that, allowing him to prepare for you?
You can't prepare. Even if you know I'm coming at you, you can't prepare for me because you think I'm going to go left, I'm going to go right.
You have a baseball bat that you carry around with you, and
I have many baseball bats.
It popped in my head because I was about to go over the card, and the first match on there is Eddie Edwards versus W. Morrissey. But I just want to, before we get anything, is this do you know, is this going to be a standard match? Will there be no disqualification? Are you concerned about that? Because I know what you're planning. I'd have to imagine what you're planning for Kenny Omega may involve being bending the rules just a little bit.
You know what? If Kenny Omega isn't a bitch, I might put out a challenge later this week telling Kenny Omega if he's not the best bitch machine, that'll allow this to be no DQ. Because I don't want him to get DQ'd from one of his boys. I want his boys coming at me because I'm going to beat them half to death too.
Wow. All right. Well, hey, we're all going to be tuning into Impact Wrestling to find out what happens there. And of course, again, I just want to mention that we have on July 17th, Impact Wrestling Slammiversary here on FITE, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You're the top of the card, but you're not the only match on the card. I just mentioned Eddie Edwards versus W. Morrissey. We have Moose versus Chris Sabin. We've seen how that's kind of unfolded recently, as well as a Knockouts Tag Team Championship match, Fire and Flava versus Havoc and Rosemary. Any matches that are standing out to you of just the ones I mentioned right there?
Ultimate X also, you can't forget that. Like, hell, Impact Wrestling does pay-per-views better than any other wrestling company on the planet. Everyone always would say, oh, this company. Well, when pay-per-views come around, Impact Wrestling kills it. Impact Wrestling has not had a bad pay-per-view in over 3 years.
And talking about that Ultimate X match for the X Division Championship, that's, of course, champion Josh Alexander versus Trey Miguel versus Ace Austin versus Chris Bay versus Rahit Raju versus Petey Williams. Petey Williams, who is, man, if you're an old school TNA Impact fan, Petey Williams is X Division. So that's going to be an interesting one. No, not at all. If anything, he's gotten younger.
Yes, he's in better shape. I want to see him hit Canadian Destroyer off the top of the X. Like, this is 2021. That shit could happen at this point.
That could. And that in and of itself, any of these matches that I've mentioned so far are worth the price of admission all on their own, but you're getting them all together. Impact World Tag Team Championship. We have Violent by Design defend against Rich Swann and Willie Mack, TJP and Fallah Bahh, and the Good Brothers. Of course, we also have Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo defending against a mystery opponent. Remains to be seen who that is. I'm excited. I mean, this card is stacked from the bottom to the top, And again, the top is the Impact World Championship, Kenny Omega versus Sami Callihan. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to review that tape, too. And honestly, no matter what I said, I'm going to go with what you say.
I'm not Sandy.
No, not Sandy at all. I see you.
Thank you.
So we are very much excited for all of you to join us on FITE. Anything else going into this that you want to share with us about your mindset, about what you're most looking forward to? Maybe as a fan, what are you most looking forward to watching before you go out there? I know you'll be focused. Maybe you'll be able to watch it on demand, which is something that we offer here on FITE.
The whole card's great. When you look at the Impact Knockouts division, we have possibly the greatest women's wrestling roster in wrestling today. You get two huge matches. You get the women's championship, the Knockouts championship match with Deonna Purrazzo against a mystery opponent. You never know who that's going to be. At this point, it could be anybody. With what's going on in the wrestling world, you don't know who it's going to be. Then you have the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Honestly, I want to see Havoc and Rosemary shut up Fire and Flavor. They run their mouth way too much, and they might have just got themselves in a situation that their asses can't cash. Ultimate X, Morrissey versus Eddie Edwards. Morrissey, I don't think Eddie cares how big you are. You might be the biggest dude on the roster, but Eddie Edwards is going to, without a shadow of a doubt, bring everything he has to shut your mouth. Because you know what? Us here at Impact Wrestling, we actually love this company. We're not coming in here just bashing this company. So at this point, even though I don't like Eddie, I like Morrissey less, so I hope Eddie bashes his brains.
And also, nobody knows the toughness of Eddie Edwards quite like you. So, I mean, if I were Morrissey, I'm sorry.
Doesn't feel pain. He doesn't feel pain. He has no fear. He legit has zero fear.
Yeah, if I were Morrissey, I would definitely not be counting on my size to get me through this match. But with that, I don't want to keep you. I know you were a busy man, and you've got a heck of a week ahead of you. All culminating, of course, on Saturday night, July 17th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Slammiversary will be available on FITE TV. Thank you, Sami Callihan. Sami, that is with an M. There is no D whatsoever in that name. And I promise you, I said Sami all along. But thank you, Sami Callihan, for speaking with me today. And good luck at Slammiversary.
Messing it up again. You know what?
Up again. What's happening here?
I am not thankful for you. You have beautiful eyes. You got a terrible suit. And honestly, I hope you fall down a flight of stairs.
From the suit? Well, folks, that's about it for us here. It's all the time we have, and even if we had more time, I think we'd be done. Don't forget to order Impact Wrestling Slammiversary live Saturday, July 17th, right here on FITE. I'm Josh Shernoff, and until next time, we'll see you Saturday, July 17th, 8 p.m. Eastern, for Impact Wrestling Slammiversary on FITE. My God, what just popped up on my screen? We'll see you on FITE.